Seems Alec Baldwin likely won't be held criminally responsible for the act of pulling the trigger, but Baldwin is also a producer on the movie. And in that capacity, there are questions about whether he was negligent, maybe even criminally negligent. That's the key word here, negligence. Someone has to have violated a duty of care. Now, that's typically a word used in civil cases with money damages. But in the state of New Mexico, you can be convicted of involuntary manslaughter for an action, quote, in the commission of a lawful act which might produce death in an unlawful manner, or without due caution and circumspection. There is no logical explanation for how a live gun ended up in Alec Baldwin's hands. But who exactly was responsible? Did the producers have knowledge of the problems with safety on the set? Were there protocol issues? Bottom line, there could still be several people charged in connection with this tragedy. Joining us now is Cynthia Armijo. She's practiced law in New Mexico for more than 20 years. She works as both a prosecutor and a defense attorney. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. So the reason I specifically wanted you on the show today, unlike a legal analyst like me or somebody else out there, is you know New Mexico law. You know the people who are investigating this. Where do we go from here in terms of this investigation? And how likely do you think it is that someone, one of the producers, the directors, would be charged with a crime in connection with what's happened here?
So, yes, in this jurisdiction, our prosecutor tends to be very fair. She tends to look at all sides of the issue. And she's relatively new, too, so she will have some issues in dealing with what the appropriate resolution to this case is. I certainly see liability civilly, if not criminally, for this case, just based on the fact, as you said, ultimately the question is going to be what Alec Baldwin knew about the people he was hiring.
Right. Let me ask you a question. I said to someone earlier today that the best thing Alec Baldwin could do is just the opposite of what we see in most criminal investigations, and that is cooperate, meaning help them as much as he possibly can in putting the pieces together. Now, typically, in an investigation like this, a criminal defense lawyer like yourself might say to him, hey, be careful here, don't speak. Do you agree with me on that?
I completely agree with you on that. I think the worst thing that he could possibly do is to speak. We know that for sure with Hannah Gutierrez, that she is giving statements and her past statements are coming to haunt her. And certainly they're not only haunting her, they're haunting Alec Baldwin, the producer. So these are things that Alec Baldwin, I understand that he wants to help with the case and he really wants to help with the family. But I'd be willing to say that a criminal defense attorney says it's not a good idea to speak publicly, certainly not to law enforcement.
Wait, Cynthia, I'm saying just the opposite. I'm saying that I think the best thing he could do right now is the opposite of what would happen in a typical case. I'm saying that I think that the best way he could avoid charges here, and again, you can disagree with me on this, but I think the best way that he and others on this production could avoid charges is to cooperate as much as possible, to explain exactly how things happen. I think if he starts saying, look, I'm not going to talk, my lawyers advised me not to help, I think if that happens, you are inevitably going to see criminal charges here. You disagree with me?
I do, only because I'm a criminal defense attorney, and the reaction generally by a criminal defense attorney is do not cooperate. The reason why is because things that you say can be misconstrued. Alec Baldwin's involvement in this case is, you know, as far as lack of mens rea or criminal intent, that certainly helps him. But it's always dangerous to tell your client to cooperate with police because you never know.
I think we got a bad connection.
What might come out. And this prosecutor, like I said, she's very fair. I expect her to do the right thing in this case, but a lot of it will depend on what evidence comes.
All right. Cynthia Armijo, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I mean, this is a New Mexico case, and there are specific laws and rules, et cetera, that apply, and that's why it's so good to have your insight there from New Mexico. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.